The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Napick and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Napick.
Welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Napick. Thank you for joining us. Today, we're going to talk about real estate here in Houston, Texas, and even go to the Lake Livingston area, which is north of Houston. If you're not from the area, north of Houston, just a little bit, maybe an hour or so, and find out what's going on in that very interesting and beautiful community. If you are in the process of buying or selling real estate, not just here in Houston, Texas, but we would be honored to be stewards of your real estate transaction. Simply go to stewart.com to find a location near you, or tell your real estate professional that you would like to close at Stewart Title. We will do everything we can to make it a great experience. Just go to stewart.com. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title begins right now. Our guest is Betty Herndon with Realty Associates. North of Houston, we're going to talk about living on the lake and so much more. Betty, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about Lake Livingston.
Yeah, you know a little bit about lakeside living, but first, let's tell people about your company, Realty Associates.
Realty Associates is one of the largest brokerages in the greater Houston area. We have 8 offices to help you and your real estate needs. We sell over 5,000 homes per year, and we are very anxious to work with you. We're very excited to get to work with you. We want to find the home that will suit your needs.
And you are doing that every day. And we mentioned lakeside living, Lake Livingston, Cold Springs, that's north of Houston. For people that are listening outside of the Houston area after the broadcast on the internet, it's a beautiful area. First, let's describe when we think about north of Houston, this lake area that we're describing, give us an idea, paint a little bit of a picture of that in case someone has not seen the Lake Livingston or North Houston area.
I'd love to. It's a beautiful area. We have a nickname that we call our area. We call it Houston's Hill Country, simply because you can get to our area in a little over an hour's drive, and there's rolling hills, there's trees, there's the lake. It's just a beautiful area.
And I think one of the drawing cards is that lake, because waterfront property just in general has always been attractive, but what you offer up there, you have lakeside, you have water views or waterfront properties. Tell us a little bit about if someone does like that water feature and that's something that brings them to your area. Give us an idea of the price points for that waterside living and what we could expect up there.
Waterside on Lake Livingston, you can expect to find waterfront homes around the high $400,000 price range, and they begin there and they will go all the way up to over $2 million. Most of the homes that you see are going to be priced somewhere between $500,000 to $750,000 that are lakeside waterfront properties.
So when we think about that, let's move it up to say 600. What can we get in the 600 range if we said, hey, Betty, I want to be on the water and I have 600,000?
For 600,000, you can get in one of the nicer neighborhoods, restricted neighborhoods. You will have your bulkheading. You'll have a nice boathouse, probably about a 2,500 to 3,000 square foot home. You'll have amenities in the neighborhood, such as some of the neighborhoods have tennis courts, golf course, basketball, gated. You can get into one of those communities.
And then when we think about waterfront, that's one thing, but there's also water view. Describe the water view.
Water view, since Lake Livingston is up in the East Texas region, we have the hills, and so you can be up on a hill and overlook the water, and so your view is beautiful. You can get up in the morning, open up your your windows and look out and see the water and enjoy it. And the neighborhood that you'll be in is going to have a boat ramp for you to use. It'll also have perhaps a swimming pool, neighborhood parks where you can get into the water and enjoy the water for the day. And those price points are going to be, you can get into a waterfront community for 180 to maybe 300, 350,000, depending upon the size of the home. You can get a pretty large home in a waterfront community for $350,000. It's not going to be on the water, but you can get a pretty nice home.
Yes, when people hear this show that are outside of Houston listening, I think that right there is a drawing card when they think about the affordability of Texas in general, maybe, but also Houston and the fact that they can get something where they look out on the water. Also, we're not that far from Houston, Texas, too. Let's talk about that proximity.
Proximity to Houston, you can get to Lake Livingston just a little over an hour to an hour and a half, depending upon what part of Houston you are driving from. You can get to the southern part of the lake in about an hour and 15 minutes from most parts of Houston.
That's pretty darn good.
That's very good.
But also you're away from the hustle and bustle of the city, and you're enjoying living where, as you're saying, you have hills, but also you have that water feature.
That's correct. A lot of people are surprised when they come into the area to see, a lot of people will say that it reminds them of the Ozarks in Missouri because of all the trees and the rolling hills. I've heard it mentioned several times that it reminds them of the Missouri, Arkansas area.
We're talking with Betty Herndon with Realty Associates in the Lake Livingston area. Also, we mentioned Cold Springs. Tell us the difference there. Is Cold Springs its own city?
Cold Spring is its own city. It's a very historic city. It was founded in 1847, and there are numerous historical sites around the town for you to see. It is a quaint little town. It's got antique shops, restaurants. It is the county seat for San Jacinto County, and the old courthouse sits in the middle of the town, and they have trade days once a month in the town, and that's where vendors come out and just set up around the town square, and you can shop, find some specialty items. There's also a large community of people that like to come to Cold Spring to bike. There is a double lake park, and there's bike trails. Also, there's just with all the rolling hills, people like to bike on the farm to market roads.
That sounds really great. I'm a cyclist, by the way. You have my interest in several ways. I like the lake, and I like the whole idea of biking in a beautiful area. You mentioned the word farm. That makes me think of farm and ranch land properties. Do you have that up there?
We do have. We have numerous properties that would be available. We have everything from, a small acreage. Perhaps you only want 2 to 5 acres. We would be able to find you, 2 to 5 acres pretty readily. A lot of people like that size properties. If they have horses, they can, have horses on the 5 acres. They just want the privacy. They want to be able to go up and not see any neighbors for the weekend. And you can do that if you choose, but you can also get out and visit with your neighbors because it is a very friendly community.
Because there's a lot of people, as much as we're talking about the lake and things, that there's some people that say, look, I don't care about water. I just want to have some space. So you actually have that up there, too, in the area.
We do. We have, like I said, 2 to 5 acres we can find pretty readily. We also have larger tracts if you want, a 20-acre tract. There are, some 20-acre tracts available. There's also, larger than that if you want a larger tract.
The activity, what are you experiencing right now as a realtor in this area that we've described?
This spring has probably been a little slower than general. Generally at the lake, springtime, people are starting to think about summer homes, and they start shopping. I think with the COVID, it's kind of slowed the market down a little bit, but we are starting to see lots of activity within this last 2 weeks. People coming up, driving, people wanting to view homes. And I anticipate with the summer months coming on that we will get into full swing like we generally do. I'd like people to know that if they come to Lake Livingston, lake life is going to be a little bit slower. You're going to get to know your neighbors a little bit more because you're outside. You visit with your neighbors, and it's a very friendly community. Lake Livingston is a large lake. It's 93,000 acres, about 9 miles wide. So there's lots of activities for you to do. You can fish if you like to fish. You can ski if you like to ski. You can tube your children. You'll make memories that you'll never forget at Lake Livingston.
Indeed, and you're bringing value to your clients because you know about the depth of the lake in certain areas, what you can, what you can't do in certain areas, right?
That's correct. I think that's one of the greatest values that I bring to my clients. I know what areas of the lake are primarily for fishing. I know what areas are primarily recreational. I know the depth of the water at the boathouses in most of the neighborhoods. I can generally tell you, oh, the water is going to be about 3 feet there. Oh, it'll be 8 feet there. I'm very knowledgeable on the water depth.
Betty Herndon with Realty Associates. Betty, if someone wants to reach out to you, what should they do?
They should look on my website. It's bettyherndon.com, or they can call me at 281-635-0291.
That's 281-635-0291. Betty Herndon, living life on the lake and helping people find their right home in the Lake Livingston, Cold Springs area.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you so much. Let's talk to Katie Wells. She is with Del Monte Realty right here in Houston, Texas. Katie, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill. Thanks so much for having me.
And Del Monte Realty, you guys are doing tremendous work right here in Houston. You have a very strong team. I hear about it all the time. Let's tell people about your company.
So we started Del Monte a couple years ago. I've been in the industry for 13 years and with several different brokers. We started Del Monte to basically be a small boutique brokerage, partnering with our clients, being a more personalized experience through the real estate transaction.
And I heard about you from a great friend of mine, Jacqueline and Donnie Boutwell. In fact, he said it before, Katie, a couple times. In fact, he said it this weekend. Yeah, she sold our townhouse in 17 days.
That's right. Anytime I can do a quick sale, I'm thankful, and I'm glad to hear that they had such a positive experience. I think we've done 4 transactions together with them, so they're awesome, and they're such a blast to work with.
And that's interesting, too. When we, as a real estate professional, it's interesting what people remember after the transaction. And certainly a timely sale and people getting the right price is right there on the top of the list, right?
Absolutely. And I think that's just, with experience and watching and listening and knowing your market and pricing a home exactly right is part of that. You don't want to leave money on the table, but you also you don't want to sit on the market for months and months, and that creates not so happy clients and more work for real estate agents as well.
That's a good point. And we hear about it in any condition of the market. Certainly lately we've had challenges since the beginning of the year. Pricing the property correctly at any time is so important. Tell people how that's done, because there's a lot of people, as we've gone through these few months, that are, I think, more people than ever, other than the seasonal swing that we get this time of year. I think there's more people that are going to be making changes, and they think about that. So from a real estate professional's perspective, how do you price it right? How do you do that?
Right. I think the most important thing is, obviously looking at the comparable properties that have sold and really, diving into the details, updates, cosmetic updates, and Briar Grove Memorial, these older ranch style houses has all the plumbing been updated? Have the windows been updated? What's the roof look like? So you look at everything and try to compare prices that way. And then every street, maybe there's a few nuances about the location within the neighborhood. So really knowing your market. We do a lot in the Heights. We do a lot in Briar Grove. We do a lot in Memorial. We're have a few of our agents are doing a ton in Spring Branch right now. So we have a good handle on quite a few markets in Houston, and really knowing your area can help really pinpoint that right price. And it's a dialogue. I don't come into a meeting with my clients saying, here's the exact price. I really want to talk it out with them. I want them to be happy, and we want to come, I want their opinion on what they think their house is worth. And, our clients watch the market sometimes closer than we do. They know every situation that's been on their street off market. And so I think really listening to clients, as well as bringing the knowledge and experience to the table, just helps get that perfect price.
The other thing I'm thinking about, putting myself in the buyer or the seller's perspective, is that some of us that may want to sell our home, we might have plenty of time, or we may want to sell it quickly, but it's not a big financial concern. We have the time if we need to go a month or two or whatever. But then there's others that there's a job transfer, or they're trying to buy a home, or they have other financial or career motivators. So then it becomes even more important.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you have time, do you necessarily want, and maybe you think, okay, let's put it at this price. It's maybe a little bit higher than comparable properties, or a little bit higher for the neighborhood, because I'm not in a hurry. But that creates, a few other issues down the line when people start seeing that days on market increase, then they start looking for problems. Well, what's wrong with this house? Or, oh, the backyard is kind of small. Maybe that's why it's been on the market for so long. So I think sometimes in different scenarios, you can create more problems than you'd like.
So price it right to begin with, and there's no pressure on the real estate professional, is there?
Well, that's true, but I think you don't want to underprice it either. In some ways you get multiple offers, but I'm showing a house this afternoon in the Heights, and it has, I think a couple dozen offers already, and that's a hard situation too, because I need to advise my clients, okay, where do we go in? It's just kind of a crapshoot at that point. You don't know exactly where to come in if you underprice a house.
And you said it earlier. We've talked on this show, especially recently, to some home stagers, and you hit a very important point. Certainly, the home staging and having the house decluttered and looking great is so important to getting one or multiple offers. But you said a very important thing is that in certain homes and or neighborhoods, we have to look beyond the cosmetics, beyond what we can see. And you were talking about plumbing and other issues that may be a result of when the home was built or whatever. So there's a lot to consider when you're pricing the home, and certainly when even a buyer or seller is involved with those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's savvy buyers and folks who've done their research. They've Googled all the things, and they know what they're looking for. Staging is critical for photos, and that's someone's first impression, and you want that to be a good one. But then after that, people are going to look under the hood of the car, so to speak. They're going to do a deep dive into the bigger mechanical and structural components of the home. And in older parts of Houston, where these awesome 1950s and 60s homes are selling for over $1 million, you want to know, what those critical items could be, or what they could cost if they haven't been done, or if they have been done. You want those receipts, and you want those warranties as well.
So we talked a little bit about sellers here. What are you advising buyers? Let's take the Heights, for instance. If I said to you, Katie, I want to live in the Heights, and I don't even know what the entry point is there, but I have X amount of dollars. I want to live into the Heights. How do you coach the buyer at this point in the market? Because I know just to put this interview together, you have been very busy. So that's awesome. What are you telling the buyers that call you up?
I'm telling the buyers right now just to be patient. I'm giving them as much info, kind of a history of the Heights. We'll look at numbers to see what homes have been going for. If they haven't been watching the market, I'll show them specifically days on market that it's very brief, usually 1 or 2 before a home in the Heights flies off the market. So we have to be quick to jump on any new listing. You have to go see it really the day it hits, or the next day if you want a shot. Anything under $1 million in the Heights is going to come and go quickly if it's priced right. Again, if it's sitting there for a while, a lot of that might have to do with price, or maybe the seller, what you mentioned earlier, isn't in a hurry, and we'll still go look at those sometimes. But the homes that are priced right on the bigger lots in the heights are selling very quickly. So I try to give my client as much information before we start physically looking at houses, just so when they do find that perfect one, they're ready to jump.
The Heights is a very exciting market. Give us an example of another market that's equally as active and sought after.
Well, I lived in the Briar Grove for 10 years, and just recently moved to Memorial. And both of those neighborhoods, for different reasons, are exciting. Briar Grove is a very fun, young families, great elementary school, and just a really neat community that I've loved working in. And then Memorial obviously has great schools as well, and homes that are priced well and well maintained also sell pretty quickly. So it's great for our company to live and work in those neighborhoods, and usually those clients continue to work with us over the years as they upgrade to maybe a fourth bedroom or eventually to a game room or to bigger homes. We kind of continue to work with those clients several times.
We're talking with Katie Wells with Del Monte Realty here in Houston, Texas. Katie, before we close out the segment, what else would you like people to know?
Thanks, Bill. You can find us, Del Monte Realty, on Instagram, or our website is delmontehtx.com. We have a lot of awesome agents that all of them you would love to work with, and my business partner Casey Charles and I are just thankful for this opportunity to get our brokerage name out there, and we'd love for you to give us a call.
Here you go, the Del Monte Dream Team. How about that, Katie?
I'll take it.
All right, well, let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
Yeah, you can probably our website or Instagram or Facebook, Del Monte Realty or delmontehtx.com. We respond quickly on Instagram. It's probably the best way. So
there you go.
We love answering any questions that you have. We're here for you.
Very nice. Katie Wells, Del Monte Realty. Thank you for being on the show, Katie.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. Have a great week.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com, or call 866-798-2827.
We have the opportunity now to talk to Christina Batchelor with Saratoga Homes. She is the sales manager of the Northern Division. Christina, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Bill. Thank you so much for having me today.
Well, when we think about a brand new home, I know a lot of people that are living in their home, whatever size it is right now. I know a lot of them think if they're not already in a fairly new home, I think that's one of the goals for the next time. I know it's one of my goals. When I move, I want something brand new without all the maintenance and things to take care of. Let's tell people about your company.
Yes, so Saratoga Homes, we began in 1983. We've been in business for about 37 years now. We had our humble beginnings in El Paso, Texas. Since then, we have grown to New Mexico, Austin, Houston, Killeen. We were in Chicago for some time, but we are family owned. We are family operated. Our CEO is a Vietnam veteran. One of the many great things about Saratoga Homes is that we are a one-stop shop. We have our own in-house mortgage company, so we make that pre-approval process super easy for the consumer. We have our 10-year Home of Texas warranty. We're also a turnkey builder. We include the blinds, we include the ceiling fans, we include that landscape package.
A very nice distinction, by the way.
Well, thank you. We take pride in our work.
So let's tell people, when we think about that new home, as far as energy efficiency, That is, I think, a thing that we really need here in Houston as we depend on air conditioners so much. What are just a few of the features that help keep that home cool in this hot environment in Texas?
Yeah, absolutely. Our windows are double pane and they're insulated to kind of take in some of that hot Houston heat so it's not getting all into your house. We have got our HVAC system has an airflow calculation, so not only does it save energy, of course, but it's also calculating the airflow to make sure you're getting the right amount in your beautiful brand new Saratoga home.
That sounds great. As far as the northern developments that you have, let's tell people about some of them.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 2 master plan communities out in Humboldt, Texas. We've got Fall Creek, where there are 6 opportunities remaining. We are closing out of that one quickly. We have also got Sunset Ridge, and then we also have Woodridge Forest out in Porter, Texas.
And we're talking with Christina Batchelor, sales manager for the Northern Division of Saratoga Homes. By the way, the website is SaratogaHomesTexas.com, where you can see some of the homes and some of the features as well. As far as the area that you're seeing, I have a feeling, Christina, people are moving out to the outer reaches of Houston as we're expanding in every direction. What kind of activity are you seeing right now up there in the north?
Yeah, absolutely. You've got families looking to expand, so they kind of want to get more into the suburbs and away from that city life. But Saratoga Homes, we are so calculated when it comes to choosing our development. We take into consideration the needs of our customers, so we do make sure that we pick land that has very quick access to major thoroughfares. So that way you're able to jump right on the highway, get to work. You have quick access to major retails and restaurants.
Give us a word on the price points of your homes. What does it cost? And certainly people hear the show right at the time of broadcast in the Houston area, but many people listen way outside on the internet after the fact. I think they'd be surprised at some of the price points where they can get a brand new energy efficient home. Tell us about those price points.
So we are in the low 200s and we go up to the mid 400s.
That sounds pretty good.
I agree with you, Bill.
What can we get for 400? Let's just say at the higher end, but what are we going to get for $400,000 in one of your homes? And where would that one be?
It will be located in Woodridge Forest in Porter, Texas. $400,000 price point will get you a very beautiful 2-story home with a spacious backyard, very custom features.
And you mentioned about the landscape package. Tell us about the landscape package. What does that mean? So is that dollars that we can spend, or do you actually set up the landscape?
No, Saratoga Home sets up the landscape for you, so we are saving you that trip to Home Depot, and it'll be fully sodded in the front and in the rear. We also include trees and shrubs in your front yard.
That sounds like a nice feature right there. What are some of the other things we should know about in your homes?
We include the ceiling fan. The homes are pre-wired for the alarm security system, so your home can be safe. We include the 8-foot doors in some of our homes. You've got high quality appliances, that drop down farmhouse sink in some of our communities that's highly sought after. Granite countertops. We've got high ceilings.
Yeah, in fact, I'm looking at the website as you're talking about the high ceilings and granite countertops. There's some really nice pictures of a home. I'm not sure which one it is, but there's a really nice layout of a beautiful kitchen and living area that I'm looking at right on your very first page.
Well, thank you.
So when we think about, we're at the half point of the year, Christina. When you all get together and talk about what's happening for the rest of the year, this has already been a very interesting, challenging year in some ways. What's the feeling with your company? How's it going to be in the second part of the year, especially here in Texas? What kind of activity are you all expecting?
We are expecting major growth. Our numbers have been going up, and we've been staying super busy. And the North Division is actually going to begin construction later on this year. We're going to be opening up 3 more communities.
3 more? And are they going to be in the Humboldt area, or do you know where they're at yet?
We have got one coming up in Cypress, and the other two are going to be in that Tomball and Magnolia area.
And when we think about something brand new for a builder like yourselves, let's take Cypress. Is that a point where do you think have you purchased the land already? Because it takes time as well, and there's, I guess, different pricing too if you buy early on. Is that true?
Well, we actually built Cypress Oaks out in Cypress, Texas, so we're very familiar with that area. That's actually where our Houston corporate office is located.
Right there in Cypress, huh?
Yes.
SaratogaHomesTexas.com. Before we close out the segment, Christina, what else would you like people to know?
I would like everyone to know that Saratoga Homes never shut its doors once during COVID. We always stayed open, and in fact, we hired people. Our tagline is that the difference is in our commitment, and we are truly committed to serving our communities.
Christina, if someone wants to reach out to you to find out more about your company, of course, the website is SaratogaHomesTexas.com. What's the phone number if they want to call?
832-220-5566.
Very easy for someone to get a brand new energy efficient home that's priced right with your company.
I agree with you.
There you go. Call 832-220-5566, Saratoga Homes. Christina Batchelor, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, Bill. It's been a pleasure.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Our guest is Oscar Hernandez with Keller Williams Memorial right here in Houston. Hey, Oscar, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be here.
Man, there's so much going on in Houston, and your company, at least physically where your office is, you're pretty much in a hot spot, we would call it, a tremendous place of activity. Let's tell people about Keller Williams Memorial first.
Sure. Well, Keller Williams Memorial is the largest full-service brokerage here in Houston. I've been with them since 2005. We've got great leadership there, but also, one of the things that I really enjoy about being a part of KW Memorial is we've always been at the forefront of leveraging technology. And I think that's, suited us well for the environment that we're currently in.
That's right. And especially now, I think prior to some of the things that we're seeing here at the beginning of the year, the technology was already rapidly advancing, and now it's sure coming in handy, I think, in a tremendous way.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I think consumers are slow to adopt technology. In some cases, perhaps some people are resistant to change, but with everything that has occurred recently with the stay-at-home order and COVID-19, it kind of forced people to adapt to that technology. And so, we're fortunate that we have been using it for a long time, a lot of different tools for a long time that we can dive into here in a little bit. Also, we've worked with buyers virtually for many years now.
And when we think about that, what are, as far as the virtual activity that you're doing, what are some of the things that you're doing, let's say now from a technology standpoint, at this point in time, halfway through 2020, what are the things you're doing right now with your buyers and sellers, let's say, that you didn't do maybe last year at this time?
I don't know that we're doing much differently other than our clients are adapting to purchasing a home virtually. So we've done that in the past. We've worked with primary home buyers. We've worked with people buying second properties on the coast, as well as investors buying remotely. So we've always leveraged technology and used FaceTime or Skype, whatever tools they were comfortable with, to help facilitate that. And we've always been very good at communication with our clients to keep them in the loop as to how things are progressing here on the ground. But more so, more recently, we've had, multiple clients that are looking remotely, putting properties under contract remotely. And of course, they've got to be comfortable with that process. So, the ability to clearly lay out and define a plan, get them comfortable with not just the home, but the community. So there's a lot of a lot of information that has to go along with that to support the sale, because they're not here on the ground. They don't know how close they are to a grocery store or to a gym, or what amenities a community offers. So our ability to convey that complete message through video, through links via email, to really give them a sense of the property. On our listings, we've been using HD video tours for, I don't know, probably about 6+ years now. And shortly thereafter, we started doing Matterport virtual tours. I don't know that our Matterport tours were getting nearly as many views as they are today. The videos, I think, are still about the same, but the Matterport really gives someone the ability to virtually walk through a home room by room and get a sense for the layout and the feel for the space. Ultimately, with our clients that were coming out of North Carolina out to the Cypress area Northwest, we did about a 45-minute in-person virtual tour, and I went room by room and really got into the details of things that I liked about the property, things that concerned me about the property. And I think being able to give someone that unbiased perspective to be able to make a decision that's best for their family is what they're really looking for.
Sounds interesting, too. The part where you said, do you actually have people that have purchased the home without physically seeing it, or using
Yeah, we've done that. I think the first time I did it was probably in the mid-2000s. My very first time doing that was an investor out of California looking at multi-unit property. And, that's a little bit easier because there's not an emotional connection to the property. It's about the numbers. They're not looking at, the schools where their kids are going to be attending, things like that. It's about the numbers. So that one was a little bit easier, but we did a video tour. We looked at some of the properties that were available to tour, some of the units that were available to tour, and we did inspections via Skype. And after he took ownership, he got a property management company to manage the property, and he never set foot here, to visit the property, and it's been a good holding for him. So that's the easy one. Probably about 10 to 12 years ago, I had a client who purchased a second home out on Tiki Island, and that was done virtually, and that was a very time crunch purchase because the seller, it was at the end of the year, and the seller was willing to be more negotiable if they could unload it before the end of the year. And our buyer was able to make a cash purchase, and we closed that in 3 days from the time of contract to inspections, title, and closing. I mean, it was a very, very, jumping through the hoops type thing, but that requires the buyer to have confidence in your ability to effectively evaluate the property as well as consult with them. And so it's a trusted relationship that you have to have.
It's fascinating, and people now, in this case, certainly lean on your expertise as the real estate professional even more so, but it also makes me think, Oscar, wow, 3-5 years from now, how is real estate going to be changing? But that's a whole nother world. Now, people may know right here in Houston, your Keller Williams Memorial is right on the west side of town in a very active area, I-10 and near Campbell Road. As far as the way you approach your real estate profession, there are certainly you're doing activity there, I would think, but where else do you focus on it?
I've never really considered myself a geographic realtor. A lot of my business does tend to be in and around the inner loop of Houston. But we've advised clients from, down in Tiki Island, out west to Katy, and all the way north to Lake Livingston. What I say my focus is I sell lifestyle at every price point. And that's the key to my business. Every home has a story to tell. Buyers are looking for that story that fits their family's needs. And so my ability to convey that is what's ultimately going to benefit my sellers. On the buy side, I ask a lot of questions. And again, I want to know what their lifestyle's like. When they're not working, what is it that they like to do? Whether it's a single person or a newly married couple or a growing family. It's what activities are important to them, what what do they like in terms of food, and do they like the outdoors? Do they like an active community, things like that? And so we ask those questions so that we can give them ideas, because a lot of times they'll come to us and they have some areas picked out, but they're also looking for advice, and they want to make sure they're not overlooking another community that could be a better fit for them.
Well, it certainly sounds like you're the go-to person to know about a lot of the areas in Houston.
And one thing I just want to make clear is that I don't claim to know everything about every area of Houston. And so what I do in specific cases is I know what my strengths and weaknesses are, and I'm willing to partner with an area expert. So just to clarify, like on Lake Livingston, that was a couple who found me online. They loved my marketing. They saw that I was a graduate of Rice University. Their kid was going to Rice. And because of my marketing, they wanted me to sell their home on Lake Livingston. And I told them, I said, quite honestly, I said, I don't know anything about Lake Livingston. And they said, well, we really like your marketing, and, we can help bring you up to speed on the area. And so what I told, I said, look, the way I feel most comfortable representing you out there, I want to provide good service and make sure that there's no gaps. I said, let me see if I can partner with an agent that I feel confident can handle things on the ground there, knows the area well, and I'll handle the marketing and negotiations. And so I found a Keller Williams agent out of our Kingwood office that lived there on the lake, knew the area very well. And so he was able to handle all of the in-person showings, the area marketing, and then I handled the storytelling, selling the lifestyle, marketing to agents and buyers down here in Houston, and then ultimately the negotiations.
As they say, it takes teamwork to make the dream work.
Absolutely.
And Oscar, if someone wants to reach out to you, what should they do?
Well, they can find us. They can certainly call our office. Its direct line is 713-470-2175. That's 713-470-2175. But they can also find us online at OscarFineProperties.com or on Facebook, Live Where You Play Houston.
OscarFineProperties.com. That sounds awesome. Thank you, Oscar, for being on the show.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com, or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risk facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risk. And yes, here he is once again, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance.
Howdy, Bill. How are you today?
Everything is coming up roses, I think. John, everything is great. That's why we love to talk about insurance.
It's not, as we always say, Bill, it's not a good week unless you've talked about insurance.
That is exactly right. So when we think about the topics, I know you always bring tremendous things. The listeners love the different things you bring forth, the series, the individual topics. What have you for us today?
Well, I always think it's good from time to time to take a look at things from our client's perspective. And what I'd like to talk about today is some things that they ought to think about when they're looking for their insurance partner. When they're looking for an advisor to help them with their business or even their personal insurance plans, that there are some things that they ought to think about when they're making that evaluation. So a couple things to take a look at. One would be, do they have industry knowledge? So do they understand the business that I'm in, especially if you're a real estate broker? Do they have a feeling for the real estate industry? Do they work with insurance partners that have an understanding and products specifically for the real estate broker? Our sole focus is to be the most admired insurance resource for real estate, and part of the Stewart family Obviously, our focus, therefore, is on real estate. We write for real estate brokers, title and attorney agents, but everything that we do is based in that real estate area, and our partners provide us policies and plans that are, specifically for the real estate industry. There ought to be some sort of a risk assessment, not just simply a quote. Now, your objective may be the best value on a premium, or your objective may be, I want to have the most extensive coverage. But you need to have the risk assessment. You need to talk about what your needs are so that it is more than just a quote. Have you added employees? Have you decreased in the number of employees? Have you gone completely virtual? Do you need a builder's pricing option built into your E&O? Are there additional services that you started offering? Have you started offering property management that maybe you weren't before? So it's important that you have that. It's important that the agents you work with, the insurance advisor you work with, shops it around. It's better if you could work with an independent agency like Stewart Insurance, because that gives us the relationship with a variety of companies that we can fit the best policy for you. For example, there are some insurance partners that we work with that if you're a smaller firm, their cyber liability policies generally aren't a good fit because they tend to be really expensive without a significant amount of additional options. But then there are some companies we work with that are perfect for smaller real estate brokers, and there's those that we work with that are more suited for larger real estate brokerage firms. So again, being able to shop around and know which ones make the sense and which ones have the best options is very important. There ought to be a educational aspect of it or informational aspect to the relationship. If you're not quite sure what a cyber liability policy does, can your insurance partner explain that to you and provide you some resources and information that can help you in that decision? As we did a couple of weeks ago, we spent 2 segments talking about flood insurance, and one of the things that we did were provide some resources for our listeners on how to learn more about floodplains and what the Harris County flood situation looks like, and resources for flood insurance. And you would want the same thing on the business inside as well, like listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, where you have that resource of a variety of folks within the industry to provide you best-in-class information. And you want somebody that's available. One of our strategic guidelines defining initiatives is this idea of immediate guidance, that we're there when our clients need us, and we're there as quickly as we can be for our clients when they need us. So that immediate guidance is something that drives and guides us every day. So those are just some of the things that would be really helpful as you look for a real estate partner or an insurance partner for your real estate business.
I think people that are listening on a regular basis and they hear your segment, they know that you are there to help assess the risks. You are there, you're trusted. They know you know what you're talking about. But I also want to say that in addition to you, the team at Stewart Insurance does the same thing every day. You're answering telephone calls. You have the support, the knowledge to help people along the way. So when they hear you and they feel good about Stewart Insurance, I'm just going to say the whole team, including the president, Tom Carpentier, leading the company, as I say, in a magnificent way, 24/7. Your whole team is stellar, and they've been with you a long time. I know that.
No, it is a great team, and thank you for saying that, Bill. We pride ourselves on working together. So, when you're working with one of the insurance advisors at Stewart Insurance, whether it be me or Tom or anybody else on our team, you're getting the whole team support.
No doubt about it. In fact, and let's tell people early on here right quick the phone number, because when they call, they actually talk to someone.
They can call us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. They can email us at stewartinsurance.com. That's stewartinsurance.com. Or you can learn more about the firm at our website, stewartinsurance.com.
That's right. And as far as the team, as far as assessing the risks, it's very easy to do. They simply call, you talk to them, and you find out. You're really tailor-making insurance policies, both for business, real estate brokers, but also for individuals, for their home, their flood, and all those needs.
Absolutely. It's a little bit of investment in time up front, but it's well worth that investment in time. So then when we come back with a quote, and we've looked at a variety of companies, we're coming back with a recommendation that truly meets your needs. For example, if an agent does provide some building pricing opinions, we want to make sure that E&O coverage is there in place. If an agency does some property management work and they may have an account where they hold the leases that they've collected and they hold some additional funds for their clients that own the buildings, we might want to make sure that we have within a cyber policy a crime element, so we've got some fraud protection and some fund protection. So again, it makes sense to take a look at your business and see what's happening. If you're streamlining, if you're downsizing, that could be a different direction, or the other way around. If you're growing, then let's look at a different viewpoint. So again, it's worth taking that time to do that assessment and to analyze what your needs truly are. It's worth taking the time to find that insurance partner, as you said so many times for us, Bill, so well. It should be part of your business's financial plan, as well as part of your individual financial plan. As you look at your business and personal finances, insurance ought to be part of that conversation and part of that review. And our advisors here at Stewart Insurance are here to help you with both the business side as well as the personal side.
No doubt we all need to be properly insured. And I'm going to say this is the year of evaluation. We're evaluating everything. Where we live, do we like this home? Do we like being quarantined in it? We learned. We want to also do the same with our insurance, make sure we're properly insured. And, John, if they want to reach out?
866-798-2827, 866-798-2827, or they can email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
You've heard it, John Bramlett, the insurance superhero at Stewart Insurance. Thank you, John, for being on the show, and thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Follow us on iHeartMedia, the radio app, stewart.com/Houston for any past episodes. Check them all out. We are that resource that John mentioned. Thank you so much again, John.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it as always. You're welcome.
And until next week, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Nampick, stewart.com/Houston. Thanks for listening.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
866-798-2827, or they can email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.